Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Dani Ghazi, who will fight on Combat U battle at the Hive September 6th. Hello, Dani. How are you?
Doing very good. How are you doing?
I'm good. And you, of
Nice.
course, right now are 2-0 in amateur MMA. You have, I think, that overall good wins, good like minutes in the cage. So if you can tell me, how do you prepare for your third fight, and who is your opponent?
It all starts off mentally, when you're in the gym, you just try to get those little wins. For me personally, especially in the back in the locker room, I try to work on my mindset. I try to work on calming myself down, being in control, and just, taking the moment. My opponent right now, I forgot his name, but he's 1-0 for September 6th. So I'm gonna be fighting him here very soon. And I think it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a little scrap.
And probably on this level, like early amateur career, it's hard to find any like really information about your opponent because it's
Yeah.
not not much of the fights. You can watch maybe some posts on IG, but it's definitely not the same.
Oh yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, I like to do that too. I like to study my opponents as much as I can. I did that with my very first opponent. He likes to post a lot, so I'd be on his Instagram. I'd be seeing exactly what he likes to do, and I just study it from there. But you're right, it's not much really information to go off of, but it's simple, simple things that I see here and there.
And in this stage of your career, if you can tell me how your like training camp looks like, because as the experienced pro, sometimes it's 8 or 10 weeks, but it's probably
Mhm.
a little bit different on amateur level.
Yeah. Yeah, for amateurs, we get like 2, maybe 4 weeks, to prepare. And honestly, I prepare. After every single fight I finish, I go back to the gym that following week and I'm preparing for that next one. So my camp is longer than 3 weeks. I'm in that gym every single day. I'm sharpening all the skills that I have. I'm improving every skill that I have. And I try to focus really on the holes. If I'm good at something, I keep it, and the holes, I try to fill them up. And I'm really particular about that. So, I'm in that gym every day and I'm working towards what I need to do.
And I think that is quite important because like later on in your career, you probably can take like 2 or 3 weeks to be able to be out of the gym. But probably right now it's like super important to be in the gym all the time, to train all the time, or even like watch other fighters train.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, shout out Team Alpha Male, like there's a bunch of high level fighters in there, so I get to, even when I'm like on recovery days, I'm in there, I'm watching them, I'm learning everything that they do. And I think that's really good to do as a fighter, just to watch and observe what these higher levels athletes that are doing and work out like them, do the same things that they do and just learn from them. It's really good. So even on my recovery days, I'm learning something.
And of course, like Alpha Male for many years, it was like the that one of the best gyms in the world. Right now, is also the one of the best gyms in the world. So, if you can tell me, how did you get to this like level of the gym?
Honestly, it started out very young, I mean, I wouldn't say very young, but it started out 15 years old. I was looking at gyms around me, like boxing gyms, and Team Alpha Male just showed up, or UI Favorable Ultimate Fitness showed up. So I'm like, hey, let me check this place out. It is a little on the expensive side, but everything that they offer, there's 100% worth your money. And it's honestly such a great gym. You have everything you need there as a fighter. So they really like give you the full package.
And if you can tell me, who are your like main sparring partners for your fights? Are these fighters are also like amateurs, or maybe do you also like spar and train with like fighters in the like pro career?
I do go with some pro fighters, yeah. I like to keep it like I start off my rounds with some of my guys, some amateur guys here and there, just to get that same energy back. And then after that, I like to pick up the pace. I go with some professional fighters that fight at LFA, or I get some rounds in with some UFC fighters here and there, just to get like see what they do and how they put that pressure on me. And I like to give it back, and do the same things that they do to me, to my amateur friends, and see how it works. To compare their experience and compare the skill set.
And probably with this room you can like pick a great striker, great grappler, great
Oh
wrestler.
yeah.
Probably like it's not a problem to pick like the fighter with the aspect that you would like to
Mhm.
train.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's so many different skill sets in that gym. If I ever need a grappler, if I need a striker, if I need a kickboxing guy, I have it all there. Everyone's there, and they're so easy to approach. They're easy to talk to. They're easy. They're sweet people. They're nice, and they're just what true fighters are. And they're great. They're great people to train with.
And also, it's crazy that this gym is like on the top of the list for like 20 years, probably, when there was like Uriah Faber, Joseph Benavides, Chad Mendes, and like so many great others, like, even like legends of the sport.
Oh yeah, man. Every day is someone new coming from that gym. A legend. Uh, Bopo. I don't know if you know Bopo, Joseph Morales. He just won TUF 33. So I mean, to see him come back to our gym, that's like more, inspirations, more like motivation. And it's just amazing to see our guys winning. And this past month, I think we've got a lot of winners. And it feels great. It feels great to be on a team like that, to come off from a win and to have winners come in and see all the people happy and celebration together. So it's amazing to see that.
And about your career, because right now you are 2-0, it will be your third fight. And do you think about like maybe in near future going pro, or right now are you like super focused just on your amateur fights?
Honestly, I'm thinking about growing pro very, very soon. I don't want to say too much about it, but I just want to first get the title at 170. That is definitely a goal. It's like a milestone for me. So once I get that, then um, that's when I'm gonna start thinking about going professional, probably in 2026, honestly. But yeah, I mean, not too far out, but still a good amount of ways.
And I think that overall that amateur fights are great because in these fights you can make a mistake because even if you lose, nobody really think about your amateur record. It's important your like pro record, to be honest. So it's like a little bit like the proving ground for your career.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, amateurs is the best place as a fighter to build that experience that you need. I mean, you got to go in there, you got to learn to be comfortable. You got to go in there, learn to be comfortable in the cage. You got to learn how to circle. You got to learn the movements in there. And then it's also a great spot for you just to kind of be yourself, be comfortable being who you are. And I think losing and winning in amateurs, and I've said this in one of my interviews before, like it doesn't really matter. Sure, I'm 2-0. If I fight this fight and I lose and I'm 2-1, like it won't really matter. If I'm 3-0, it'll be cool, but it won't really matter. And amateurs are just about gaining that experience, gaining that edge that you need. So when you do go professional, you have what you need and there's no excuses. You know what you need to do.
And when you go to the cage, do you feel any like pressure, just like walking to the cage with the like feeling that in just few seconds you will fight against fighter who of course will try to hurt you in some way?
Oh, 100%. Every day I realize like in a couple more days, in a couple more weeks, or a couple more months, I'm gonna fight a grown ass man. And sometimes it doesn't feel real. And every single time I make that walk to the cage, now it's gonna be my third time, it's always gonna be pressure. It's just how are you gonna let that pressure affect you? How it's gonna let it play in your fight? Are you gonna let it use you, or are you gonna use that pressure to hopefully kind of project it onto your opponent, make them scared, make them realize like hey, you're stuck in the cage with me. I'm not stuck in the cage with you. So it's kind of like that.
And also you fight in A1 Combat, so of course it's one of the best regional promotion in US. It's also shown on UFC Fight Pass, so definitely it's a good place to be because you will get this kind of nerves, knowing that a lot of people are watching you. But in the end, on the like next stage of your career, it definitely will help you.
Oh yeah, I think getting early eyes is good. It kind of builds more of that pressure, just knowing that there's more people that are looking at you, especially when there's, promoters looking at you or other fighters. It's good to have pressure. I think pressure is a privilege for sure. And it just kind of builds you up more and more and more. And A1 Combat is an amazing place to fight. Honestly, I love it. I've been offered a bunch of other fights from other promotions and I've declined because I like A1 Combat. I like how they run their shows. I like the cage. I like how they do it. I'm gonna stick with it. So everything is great about them.
And definitely they will give like fit many fighters to the UFC, even like
Mhm.
Peyton Talbot, who was a bantamweight champion, and then he's right now one of the best like rising fighters in the UFC.
Mhm. Oh yeah, man. They've created a bunch of people. They've created so many UFC fighters now. Um, can't list them from my head, but I'm excited. All I know is I'm excited to fight for them when I do go professional here soon. And I just know that all I need is a couple fights, couple finishes, and I'm gonna be this closer, this much closer to the UFC. And that's the dream right now, making it in there, making that first fight in the UFC, and it's gonna be through A1 Combat.
And what in like from your experience is the most challenging aspect of the game? It can be like something connected with fighting or training.
There's a couple of things for sure. One of them is definitely like all of the injuries that you're gonna go through, all the micro things that you're gonna have to go through. And another one is especially like, amateurs or even some low level professional athletes, like they don't make that much money. So money is always gonna be a factor. And then mixing the martial arts, bringing that word together. It's easy to train boxing, it's easy to do wrestling, it's easy to do kickboxing. The hard part is doing MMA, is mixing those all things together to making it one sport or making it one thing, one item, one thing to use. So that's kind of the difficult part. That's where the challenge comes, I think, mixing it all together.
And what is your like favorite part of the game? Also like fighting or the training?
Just the training by itself, it gives you a purpose. I think as a man, everyone should have a purpose. There's something that you have to look forward to, and for me is that training and I'm knowing like I have a purpose. There's a reason why I'm doing this. So it just makes me feel good that I get to get up early in the morning, late at night, go on a run, or go in the gym and train my ass off just so I know like I'm doing this for a reason. It's a purpose for me. That's a calling. And same thing for the fights is like when I'm in there, it's to prove myself, prove to my family, prove to my little cousins, to all of my friends out there, like, you can do it. I'm a regular person. You're a regular person. Like, you can do it. Just set your mind to it. So it's just that the feeling of it, the purpose of what it means.
Yes, and I think that this kind of purpose is one of the most important thing because if you don't have it, it's like you can like sit all the time like next to TV and do nothing. So probably this also
Yeah.
this kind of discipline that you know that you have
Mhm.
to do something like this, and of course knowing that the fighter that you will face will do the same. He will just train hard.
Exactly. Yeah. And everything that I do at the gym, my opponent probably does the same thing. And it all comes down to that moment of pressure, how you're going to let it affect you. And another thing is how consistent you are throughout, that 3 weeks camp won't matter if you're out for 6 weeks and you haven't been doing anything. It's that work that you do behind the scenes. It's all that sweat that you put in, not just what everyone else sees. And I mean, I said this a while ago too, like, motivation, you're not gonna have it all the time. I like to use the motivation that I have to build discipline and then run off discipline only. And motivation is just there like a Kickstarter just to get you going.
And of course, like watching your fights, it's obvious that you are a really good striker. You have this kind of really, really nice knockout. And did you have any like previous background in any like striking sports?
Uh, no, funny enough, I actually didn't start off as a striker. I'm more of a wrestler, yeah. But I like to keep it. I like striking. Striking is fun. It's fun. I like striking. I like going in there punching people. It's really nice when you see all the combinations come together. But I'm definitely a wrestler first, and I think it's just embedded in me. I haven't really been wrestling much, and it's just I've been trying to make game plans, and I like to stick to what I do. Also, part of the experience, go in there with a plan and then accomplish that plan. Listen to your coach, do this, stick to that. That way, when you go professional, you know what you need to do.
So actually, it's kind of
Mhm.
interesting because maybe your opponent will watch your fights and he will consider you just more of the striker, and then you can
Yeah,
like just out grapple him, take him on the ground, and do some damage there.
exactly. I mean, no one really knows. No one knows what you fully have. which is why when I fight, I take it slow, like that 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're training every single day to become a professional athlete. Not You're not gonna be an amateur, forever. So eventually you're gonna fight those 5 minute rounds. So I take it slow. The time doesn't matter for me. Whatever happens, happens. If it comes to a knockout, if it comes to a submission, that happens. And that's the fun part about it. They won't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, there's a bunch of different skills that I have that a lot of people haven't seen. And I think my striking is amazing. Definitely a lot more work to do as an amateur. There's a lot more things that I want to personally work on. Same with my ground, but I mean, we might see some of that on Saturday, September 6th. We won't know until then, though.
And do you have maybe like one or few favorite fighters that you know that when they are fighting, that you have to watch them?
Honestly, there's a couple of people that ring my mind. I don't particularly have a favorite fighter, but there's definitely people that make me nervous, give me butterflies when I watch them fight. And it's people like Charles Oliveira, Ilia Topuria, Josh Emmett. We have people like I was watching Bopo when he was fighting on TUF, like all that made me nervous. Um, Watching Fluffy also fight Anthony. Like all these guys, like they make me nervous for them, making me feel like I'm about to fight too. And I love those guys. They're great.
And actually, in my opinion, the like middleweight division is super interesting right now. But I think that Anthony Hernandez should get the title shot. Of course, he will fight against RDR, and RDR is of course also a super skilled fighter. But I think that Anthony did so many great things in last like 4 years that. The comes out against him, probably it's right now the most interesting fight in the middleweight division.
Oh yeah, that middleweight division right now is on fire, honestly. I also kind of said I think Anthony should get the title shot, but there's also the talk about having four contenders up there that also need a title shot. So I think it is kind of fair, to kind of make it like a tournament base where RDR fights Anthony and whoever wins fights the winner, and then the winner of the title fights. I forgot who else was going to fight for it, but I mean, Anthony's game is amazing. His cardio is amazing. His striking is great. His kicks are great. He's also a very smart fighter, and I don't think a lot of people see that, but he knows what he's doing in there and he knows what he's looking for. So I'm definitely going ahead and take Anthony for that fight for sure.
And actually, I think that his case and like Merab shows
Mhm.
everyone that like cardio is one of the most important thing that
Okay.
that you can break people with cardio because when there will be like championship round, it's very hard to keep up with this kind of pace.
Oh, oh yeah, cardio. If you got good cardio and you got good wrestling, good striking to keep him at distance, you'll win every fight. You can take that fight to 5 rounds, six, 8 rounds, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what sport you are in. Cardio is honestly the most important thing in any sport. It just keeps you going. And when the other person sees you just keep going and keep going, like it's gonna shut them down mentally. It's gonna make them feel unconfident. They're gonna lose. They don't want to be in there anymore. They're like this fucking guy. He doesn't stop. So cardio is very important. Like in Marab's case, I mean, he dominated Omar in his fight, and that was such a great fight too. Like both guys.
Okay, Dani, so many thanks
Mhm.
for the time and for
Of course.
conversation. I hope that you will win your next fight. Maybe spend a little bit also a little bit just some minutes in the cage because the experience is really important and
Mhm.
that of course you will in the end finish the opponent.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me on this as well. I appreciate it very much. I try to fit it in a spot where we can actually talk and have our time.